operate operating system fundamentals. So, in this class, we'll be getting an idea of what is an operating system, why we need Linux for DevOps, what is virtualization, virtual machines, and all. Right, like every one of us have some idea what an operating system is. It works like an interface between the hardware and the user, right? If you want to do anything, like if you want to write something or draw something, or if you want to do anything like use a notepad or anything, we'll be needing an operating system, right? So that's it works like an interface between the hardware components and the user. Every computer system must have at least one operating system to run other applications like browser, MS Office, Notepad, etc., to run and perform its tasks. Right, so it works like an interface. Apart from this, operating system also does many things like it allows us to do multitasking, work with multiple applications. It manages the resources. It will take care of, like if any idle resources are there, it will take care of making better utilization of it. All of that is taken care by an operating system. When we say all of that is done by an operating system, the main component which does this is a core component which is called kernel in an operating system, right? I'm talking about just some major components. So kernel is the one, is a central component. It is the one which makes the communication possible between the hardware and the software. And also there are different types of kernels like monolithic kernel, microkernel. Monolithic kernel consumes more running space, whereas microkernel occupies less space. But monolithic kernel is the one which is more effective and efficient than microkernel, right? Linux systems are obviously more or well performer than Windows because of this kernel component. Also, not only that, Linux systems are more vulnerable, more secure and less vulnerable for thefts and attacks when compared with Windows, right? So these are some of the differences of different operating systems, very basic differences. See here, Linux is also open source and free to use, and Windows, you have to purchase the license. Linux file system is case sensitive, whereas Windows file system is not. And Linux uses monolithic kernel and Windows uses microkernel. Linux is more efficient in operations as compared to Windows. Windows is less efficient in operations. Linux uses forward slashes as path separator between directories, like you use forward slashes, whereas in Windows it's a backward slash. Like I've explained, Linux is more efficient, secure, right? So these are all some of the basic differences. We'll come across more differences once we start hands-on, once we see practically. But you may be having a question why we need go for Linux. Does DevOps doesn't work on Windows? See, DevOps is a methodology, right? Irrespective of the platform, it works. So it works on any operating system. But majority of the DevOps tools are to be installed on Linux only. They are natively developed for Linux. So that's one of the reason. Another reason is because of the efficiency of Linux servers, right? So if you don't know Linux, that's not a problem. We can learn Linux basics, at least working with the files and folders, which should help you, right? So these are the basic differences. We'll come across the other difference as well. It's just a platform. Like you are using Windows, we can use Linux systems. And yeah, that's the reason for going for Linux for DevOps. And okay, fine. Let's say we need Linux systems to learn DevOps, right? So how do we have it? Let's say I have Windows laptop or Mac laptop. How can we get Windows, sorry, how can we get Linux machine? Anyone? Any ideas or thoughts how we can get that?
Virtual machines.
So we can use virtual machine, right? So if you have got used virtual machines, that's the first solution or idea we would get, right? We can have some virtual machine used, right? So we'll create a Linux virtual machine which runs on our Windows and use it, isn't it? So let us see what is a virtual machine and what are the downsides of using it. So virtualization uses software to create an abstraction layer over computer hardware that allows hardware elements of a single computer process, memory, storage, mode to be divided. Means virtual machine is nothing but a sort of another machine which runs on our main operating system. Correct? Let me show you. See here. Huh. See, this is the hardware. Let's say this is the my laptop hardware. On top of it, you'll have an operating system, maybe like Windows or a Mac. On top of it, if you want to run some virtual machine of another operating system, you need to install something called hypervisor. What is hypervisor? Hypervisor is a software, right? It's a software with which you can launch your VMs, with which you can create your VMs, right? That's what is a hypervisor. Hypervisor is something, a software like VMware, Oracle virtualization, right? Um, VMware. Then you have ESXi as well, the hypervisors, right? There are many other different hypervisors. VMware, VM Workstation, Oracle V. These are all different hypervisors we have with which you can create a VM and start a VM. So if you look into VM, every VM will have its own operating system, right? So it just works like a normal machine. But again, all the resources are consumed or assigned to it from the main operating system only, right? Let's say this needs 20 GB. All of them are consumed from the main operating system only. Means if you want to run too many machines, you need to expand your hardware, right? Which is expensive, isn't it? You need to expand your hardware to allocate those resources. Then let's say some VM is gone or down, you need to take care of backup, recovery, all of that process, isn't it? That's one thing. And again, also let's say if something gone wrong, right, you need to take care of their backup, recovery, their maintenance, their expansion. All of that should be will be a overhead for us, right? So this is one thing, and this is the architecture of virtual machines. Same thing is implemented in organizations as well, but a little bit change in the architecture. The one I have shown just now is called hosted architecture. Whereas in companies will have their own data centers where they'll launch the VMs on directly on the hardware, no need of an operating system. Such architecture is called bare metal architecture, right? So yeah, you can launch the VM on the same hardware. Right, so this is a bare metal architecture. Both the architecture uses virtual machine, but a little different. So whether it is for your personal usage, which is hosted architecture, or for companies, which is a bare metal architecture, if you see here, you would be understanding one thing that both have the same challenges, right? Maintenance, like you need to expand the hardware, which is costly. You need to maintain a separate team who will take care of this, right? If it's an organization, if it's a separate data center, they need to have maintain a separate team who will take care of it, isn't it? So yeah, a separate team is needed who will take care of it, who will manage and maintain it. That's one thing. It's expensive because you need to expand the hardware. Also, you need to maintain the same as a team 24/7. Even though you use the server for 2 hours, you need to manage for the entire 22 hours if you have your own data center, right? Even those are the overheads a company and organization faces. Am I correct? So how can we overcome this overhead of maintaining our own data centers? So now companies, what they are doing, instead of maintaining their own data centers, right? They were using instances or servers from cloud. Cloud is nothing but an online system through which we can avail our infrastructure through on demand. Like you can just go to the console and create your own infrastructure, right? But yeah, it's nothing but again data center running on someone else data center, right? It's nothing but infrastructure running on someone else's data center. Let's say there is a company X. Instead of having its own data center, they will use the infrastructure from, let's say, AWS Cloud, right? So AWS Cloud will provide the infrastructure online through a console as a self-service. But it is also something like a physical infrastructure running on AWS data center. So company X don't have to have their own data center. Rather, it will rent the infrastructure from AWS. Is that making sense? That's where cloud comes in. On-demand computing services delivered to us over the internet is called cloud. Self-service, it's metered. If you use the server for 2 hours, you should pay only for 2 hours, right? So it's metered. Self-service, you don't need a separate team. Maintenance, backup, recovery, all of them will be taken care by cloud because it's their own data center. Is that making sense? So there were so many data cloud providers now like AWS, GCP, Linode, DigitalOcean, and so many are coming up. So cloud is evolving. So that's the reason companies, instead of having their own data center and reduce the maintenance costs, they were investing in the cloud providers. And these are all the different providers and comparison of the different providers like AWS, GCP, Azure. And this is the graph. And AWS is is very widely used, and many clouds are coming up. Azure is also widely used. If you know one cloud provider working with other cloud providers is almost like similar. Analogy would be similar, concepts would be similar. So learn one platform tool, that should be fine. Here in the course, as an example for cloud, we'll be using AWS to spin up our infrastructure. So similarly, same is the reason, like instead of creating a laptop on my own server, we can use some instances on cloud. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that's the reason for going for cloud. It's not that just because we learn the cloud. You should know where it comes in and why do you need it. So let's get started. Create an AWS account, create some infrastructure. Let's get started learning with Linux stuff. So let's go and create a free account. Just go to create a free account in AWS. The official website documentation is there. Create a free account, right? When you create a free account, you get up to $200 in credits, which you can use it. Right now, AWS customers can get started no cost with AWS free tier, gain 100 USD credits at sign up and 100 more as you earn, as you explore the services. As you keep using the services, you get other credits. So free plan is here, which we'll be using. So create a free account. You can do it now, right? You can just do along with me. I have an account. I'll not create it, but I can guide you. Just create a free account, new to AWS, and sign up. Right? Put some email ID, some account name, and just verify it and just go through these steps. This documentation is available again in your lab notes, but those screenshots may be different because the UI keeps changing. So get started creating a free account. Here it will prompt for the debit card or credit card details. Yes, you have to provide credit card or debit card details, your PAN number for validity. It will deduct 1 or 2 rupees, but they'll be also credited back. So once you create this account, you would be able to log into it using your root username, IAM username and password. So once you create a free account, you would be able to log into the console as such. You can continue doing it at the end of the class also. So now just come back listening here. So search here in the search for EC2 service. EC2 means Elastic Cloud Compute Service, which provides us with the instances. Create, manage, monitor virtual servers to the cloud. Means it will help us create VMs or virtual machines. So go to the dashboard, instances. Okay, let us launch a new instance. Here, so launch an instance, give some name here, maybe a demo instance or test instance, give some name. Choose the MI, Amazon machine image. Choose the MI, which is Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image is nothing but you can choose the operating system, right? Like Mac, Ubuntu, Windows. See here, so many are there and some of them are only free tier eligible. Choose the latest one, Amazon Linux 2023. It's a Red Hat and CentOS compatible, which is widely used. So you can choose this one, Amazon Linux 2023. And then scroll down. Here, choose the type of the instance. Type indicates number of CPU and memory you get. So choose T2 micro. So choose the one which is T2 micro. Okay. And key pair to login. What is this key pair? How do you use and all we'll learn. Just it is asking to create a new key pair. Create a new key pair. Give some name like a demo key pair. It already exists. So let's say test key pair. Give some name. And choose this PEM file. What is this PEM file? The concept behind it comes under SH. We will learn it separately. Just understand, create a key pair, which is a test.pem. See, that will be downloaded. Do you see that? It's getting downloaded. Only for the first time it gets downloaded. You have to keep it securely because later on you cannot get that. If you don't get that, you cannot log into your machine. So, yes. Download that and just launch the instance. It will create an instance. So instance would be created. You can just go to view all instances. So this is your instance. So now connect to the instance. Okay, by the way, one more thing. So now instance is created, it's running on AWS. If you have to do anything or learn some Linux commands, you have to connect to it, right? How do you connect? From my laptop, I need to connect to it, right? So how do we connect? Just go here. There are different ways you can connect. One is EC2 instance connect. So just if you click on it, it will open the browser and you will connect through the browser. So this is one way. See, I got the terminal of the instance. EC2 user is a default user and I got the terminal. So this is how you can do. And there's a simple way to connect. The most widely used way to connect is go to SSH client. SSH client, what is SSH? Secure Shell Protocol. We will learn this concept separately, but just understand SSH client is some interface you can use like Git Bash or terminal if it is your Mac. So I'm launching my terminal. This is the terminal. Okay. So go to your terminal or Git Bash and open. See, here are the steps. Open SSH client. Locate your private key file. Means go to the location of your key file. My key file is present in the downloads folder. Right? Sometime back we created. So go to downloads. Run this command chmod 400 that test.pem. What is all of that we will learn. Chmod is a command, okay, to provide write permissions. We will learn that separately. So just execute these steps and then this one. So we need to cover SSH concept for this. We will learn it in some time. So give yes. So see, EC2 user is a default user. You got the prompt. Now I am in my EC2 instance, right? So I'm running the commands on my laptop. Doesn't mean it's on a laptop. It's in the EC2 instance. We connected Linux machine on a Linux EC2 instance and we are running our commands there. Is this much clear for everyone? Got it right? Understood? Any questions?
Yes, ma'am, we understood.
Thank you. Thanks for confirmation. It's pretty straightforward and simple. Just connected to an instance. That's it. Now let's learn Linux. You might be aware of some Linux commands, right? Or you might be already very good with it. Let me go from basics and let's go through files and file system navigation with the files and folders and the basic things set up so that we can use the platform comfortably. So let's get started with the basic command. The first most, ls will list the files and folders in that particular path. And pwd means present working directory. See, you see here as we are in home EC2 user. That's a directory we are in. Okay. And if you want to create any files, touch file1.txt. Earlier also we used this command, right? And if you want to write something into the file, there is an editor in Linux called Vim editor or VI editor. So if you want to edit, touch will just create a file. But if you want to edit this file, VM file name. So here you can put something like whatever you want. It's just a text file. See, VM editor means escape I, right? You will be going into insert mode, write something, whatever you want. Okay. And then if you want to save it, again, escape colon WQ exclamation. That's how you save and close the file. Even these instructions were there in the lab notes. I'll show you towards the end. Just listen now. So I have written some content. If you want to read the contents of a file, cat file name, right? That will show you contents of that file, which I just have added, right? Those are the simple things. Now, if I do ls, I'll have file1. And if you want to create a folder, mkdir means make folder, make directory, demo folder. I'm giving name as demo folder. When you do lsc, you can see that if you want to go to that folder, cd folder name. Now, if you see, you are in the home EC2 user demo folder directory. Now, if you want to create any files, you can use Vim here itself. If the file is not there, it will create and launch it. So, escape again, escape colon WQ exclamation. Right? That's how you save the file. Now I got the file 2. Right? So, suppose if you want to copy this, see, if you want to go one level back, cd dot dot. So now I am in the home EC2 user path, right? This path, I'm here. All right. So yeah, let's say I want to copy this file 1 into demo folder. This is how you can copy. Copy is like copy and paste. So go to demo folder, ls. Yes, you have the file copy. Let's say you want to move the file. Let's say I want to move this file to home EC2 user. Right? Move is like cut and paste. See, file 2 is no more because it is cut and pasted here. Understood. Simple operations which you do on your Windows through the GUI. Those are the things we are learning here from the command line, from the CLI. CLI is more convenient and useful in real time because we can use it faster and the system would be lighter without GUI. So those are the reasons we incline towards CLI in reality. Moving, copying, ls, seeing the content, just the simple commands which everyone should know. It's just another platform, that's all. Let's say I want to delete a file. rm file 2, right? Gone. Suppose you want to delete the folder. You cannot delete folder this way. See, it's a folder. rm minus rf so that it will delete the folder and the contents of it recursively. Do you see that? And there were some other things you can check, like if you want to check the operating system details. There are system defined file like etc. Under etc, you have OS release. See, it will show you Amazon Linux 2023. It's like Fedora, CentOS systems, right? It will show you all the details of your operating system. ls CPU will show you details of your CPU, right? It's a 1V CPU we are using. See, 1V CPU you can see. Similarly, details of memory, ls memory, 1 gigs of memory. So all of these details you can get here. And then, okay, see whatever commands I'm running here are with the CC to user, a regular user, right? There'll be admin user as well, which is called root user or super user. Like you have admin user in Windows, you will have a root user on Linux as well. Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll just talk about some users and the groups now. 1 second, please. So these are the regular users, EC2 user. You may create any different users. Root user is called the super user or the admin user. And this is called the parent directory in Linux. Like you have in Windows C drive, D drive, here there will be only one thing which is root. Everything will be under the /root, right? And whenever a user is created, a home directory will be created with the same name of the user. Home directory will be used by this user. This is the path under home. Also, a group will be created by the same name. Okay, this is user. Home directory will be created by default whenever user is created. And also this group will be created. When you talk about users, groups make sense, right? You can group the people and assign permission. So this is called primary group, which is created by default with the same name, and user will be added into this group by default. Okay, you can add the user into other groups also, which is called secondary group. Similarly, if you create some user called John, okay, whenever you create the user, a home directory will be created for him like this. And he'll be added into a group will be created and he'll be added into this group. That's a default behavior. Similarly, root user also have that. So let's talk about creating users, exploring their home directories, their permissions. Later on, we'll see how to give permissions to different users, which makes a total sense, right? So let me create some user. EC2 user is a default user, right? So EC2 user is a default user and this user doesn't have a password. Let's set the password. Password is a command to set a password and only root user can specify the password. So you should switch to root user or else run with a sudo. Sudo means running with the root user privileges. Set the password for EC2 user. Retype the password. Done. Password is set. Okay, now like all the user information can be seen here. Okay, first let me also create some user. Sudo add user is the command to create a user. So I'm creating a user called John. So John is created. Where do you see those users? HC password is the default file, system file, where you can see. Do you see John user is created, some user ID 1001, the home directory and so on. So John user is created. If you want to see the groups in which John is added into, obviously, like I told you, a group will be created by the same name and he will be seen here. And the details of the groups will be seen here. Group. See here, John group is created, right? So that's how you create a user and see the groups of a particular user. But I'm logged as an EC2 user. If you want to see the groups of EC2 user, just run the groups command. See, EC2 user is into EC2 user group, admin group, wheel group, systemd group, right? Those are the secondary groups. Similarly, you can also add John into different groups. First, let me create a separate group. You can also create groups separately like this. I created a group called DevOps. Now I would like to add Tom. User mod will change the groups. I want him to add to a group called DevOps and remove him from John group. Now if you see groups of John, see John is into DevOps group. He was removed into his own group, John group, right? And let's say I want to delete the group called John. Okay, you can delete the group this way. John group is deleted. Groups of John. He was into DevOps group. Sorry, I just run the command. Did I delete it? Sorry, 1 minute. Sudo group delete John. Okay, now if you see groups of John, he was into it, and the group should be deleted. You can check the group under HC group. John group should have been deleted. See, John group is no more. 1001 is no more. Right? Simple operations, how you can create groups, manage them. And let's say I again want to modify, but this time I want to add him to another group, like admin group. I want to add John to admin group. A minus AG means it will not remove from the current group, but add him into another group. Small g will remove from the current group and add him into a new group. Is that making sense? He was not removed from DevOps group, but rather added into another group called admin. Okay. And I'm also setting some password for this. G password minus D John admin. So removes user from admin group, and also we should be okay. First, let me remove him from admin group. Removes John from admin group. If you see, he's only into DevOps group. You can also set permission for him. Sudo password John. Right, I set the password for John as well. Right, so this is how you can create a groups, remove the groups, add user to different groups and so on. But groups makes more sense when we talk about permissions, isn't it? It means, let's say there is a file you want to give different permissions to different users, or else common permissions for some set of users. That's where groups comes into picture and more helpful, isn't it? So let's see how to do that. Can I go ahead, or any questions from anyone in this groups part?
No, ma'am.
Right. So if you are all good, let me just go and create some file. Okay, I'm going into TMP folder. You can create anywhere. I am creating a file here. Touch file one dot txt. And also let me create a folder, demo folder. Right, I have created. So how do you see file permissions? ls minus l means long list will show you permissions of the file as well as their owner and group owner. So these are the file permissions and the owner and the group owner, right? So let's take permissions of a file and put them over here. Just a second. And let me put that. Right, the permissions of the file, and then this is the permissions of the folder. How to interpret, how to understand this? If you see this, the first literal indicates, this hyphen indicates it's a file. This is a file, right? D indicates it's a directory, right? This is about demo folder. This is about file1.txt, right? So first literal indicates whether it is a file or folder. Next, you have to take three literals as a group. Group these three literals, the next three, and the other three. First group indicates those are the permissions of the owner of the file, right? Owner's permissions. Owner is indicated with the letter U. Second set is group owner, means owner's group. Let's say owner is in some DevOps group, so that owner's group permissions, G. Third one is others. Others means anyone else who is not owner, who is not in owner's group, which is denoted by the letter O. Same is the case for the folder also, right? So user or owner, first category, owner is having what permissions on this file? What is meant by RW hyphen? Means read plus write. Next group has got R only, means read. Others have also got read, means they can only read, they cannot edit the file. Is that making sense? Owner, group owner, others. Understood? Is this clear first of all?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? RW means read, write, R means read, W means write, execute means X is not there here, but yeah, that's a third permission. So first set is owner is having read, write, others are having read only. So now let's see how this works. Meaning, let's say, okay, here because EC2 user is the owner. See here, EC2 user is the owner. I can edit. EC2 user can edit this file, right? As a EC2 user, I can edit and save the file. Is it possible for others to modify? What is others permissions? Read, right? Just let's check this. Switch to other user. How do you switch? SU-John. That's how you switch to any other user. Prompts for password. Now if you just go to TMP folder and then edit this file 1.txt, you see at the bottom read only. Can you see that? If you try to put something, it's giving you at the bottom, changing a read only. Cannot edit because John doesn't have permissions. See, it will not allow saving. So without saving, if you want to close, escape colon W exclamatory. Sorry, Q exclamatory. That will just close the file without saving. Check the content. It is not saved. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So if John has to if John has to edit, what you should do, this file should have permissions. ls minus l if you want to see only one file, file1. So others, you should give permission to others or else add John to EC2 user group. You have to do either thing. I'm giving permissions to others. How do you change the permissions of any group? Using, that's where chmod command. Do you remember in the beginning I use chmod? Chmod group permissions should be added. Means G plus W on file1. That's the concept. That's a command. Earlier I used it, right, for our PEM file. So see, now group has got right permissions, means let us switch to John. Group, not sorry, I have given incorrectly, right? John is not in this group. John is in others group. So what I should do, because I have given permission incorrectly, if you want to remove G minus W. So ls minus l file1. See, group is not having, right? I want to give permissions to others. So others are indicated by O plus right file1. Now it's perfect. Others means John come under others. Let me switch to John. Check. Let's switch to John. Password for John. Try to edit this file which is under TMP file1. Hello, and try to save it. Why it's not working? Cannot open file for writing. It should have actually. John has write permissions. ls minus l tmp file 1. John is in others. It has got write permissions if you see here. So he should be able to write it. Others, right. We'll see that. Okay, actually, John should be able to write this way. I'll check this later. So that's how you can provide permissions, add, modify the permissions of the file, create permissions for the group, and so on. Right? This is a one way to give the permissions. Right? Using the chmod, g plus, u plus, g minus, o plus, and all. That's one method. There is another way you can provide the permissions. Let's say you want to delete any permission. Like you want to delete some permission throughout. Minus W. Let's say I want to remove W because it's not there. Let's not. Let's say I want to give executable permissions for all. If it's an executable, we may give this permissions. Plus X, I did not mention either it is owner or group or others. So it will give execute for all of this. See, it has given execute. Color of the file also changed. If it's any script you need to execute, you can use it. Right? So that's one way you can see. Let's say you want to remove the same across all the groups. Minus X. Right? Or else you want to give write for all. So file 1. So that's how you can have. And now you can see execute is removed, but write is added for all. Why write is not added? Plus W. Plus W. Write is not added for group, I see. Okay. When we don't mention anything, it should get added for all of the groups. Maybe let me specify the group. Now it was, but just plus doesn't work. X worked, right? See, plus X just worked. Somehow right is not working, giving everyone. All right, so yeah, these are the different ways, and there is another way, another method, like multiple ways you can use. This is another way. Let's say I want to change something for group. Group should have only read. That's all. This is how my group should look like on the file name. This is another method. So now group will have only write permissions. Do you see this? Sorry, read permissions. Or else I just want other to have only read. So just give whatever you want. This is another way. Like O equal to G equal to, rather than just giving whatever permissions needed, you can tell all the other permissions also how it should work. And above all, there is something else called numerical mode. Numerical mode means for execute, it will be X. Execute, it will be X, right? Execute value, it means numericals are allocated for execute, read, and write. For execute, it is, one second, execute, it is 1. Read means 4. Write means 2. No permissions means 0. Right? And so execute plus write means 3. That's how you have the permissions in the numeric mode. This is very widely used. Like let's say I have this file, right? Suppose I want to give read write for everyone. So what should be the read write for first group? First group means owner. Read write means what is the numeric value? Read write, add these two, read write. Add these two. So how much is read write? 6 for owner. First digit is for owner. Group also I want read write. Others also read write. So each digit is for a particular group. So 666 means they should have read write. Perfect. Let's say I want read write for owner, read write for group, but others should only read. Right? So 664. Do you see that? Read write for owner, read write for group, others should have. Let's say I want to read write only for owner. 644. Got it? This is the numerical mode. Numerical mode is very, very widely used than any other mode. If you want only read permissions for the user, owner, but no one else, even owner cannot edit if you want this. Now owner can also only read, right? This is we give for any files like PEM file we have given CH mode, right? It's a security, it's a for authentication, so no one should edit the file. So such files we can give this. Suppose I want read, write, execute for everyone, right? Read, write, execute means 7. Clear everyone? See, learning Linux, mastering Linux will take some time. Don't try to become expertise in an overnight. Give some time every day, spend some 10 minutes. It's a platform, it's just another environment like you are using Windows. So spend some time, 10 minutes every day. So Linux and the cloud platform will be spread across horizontally throughout the course, means we'll be using it throughout. So spend some time regularly on daily basis, 10 minutes for these commands. That will help you. You cannot or you shouldn't try to master it in one. Any questions till this part? Any confusions or anything you have?
Ma'am, how you decided like John is in other group and not in owner or this
Here it
group?
is there, right? This is the owner. This is the owner's group. Owner of the file, owner's group. So owner is easy to user. Owner's group is easy to user group. John is not a owner and John is not an easy to user group. How do you check user groups of John? So he is not an easy to user group. So he belongs to others. Whoever not a owner, whoever not in owner's group comes under others.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay, suppose if you want to change the owner, that also you can do, but with the root privileges, ch own. Let's say I want to change the owner to, let's say, John, and group is admin. So first one is owner colon group of which one? File one. So now if you see the permissions, do you see? Now John became the owner and then admin group is the owner's group, right? Suppose I want to change only the owner. Ch own, only give the first part. I want to again put EC2 user as the owner. File one. I did not put colon means only owner will be changed. Group owner will not be changed. See, group owner is still admin. Suppose if you want to change only the group, then ch group. Right, I want to put a user back, I mean owner back as EC2 user. EC2 user file1.txt. Now EC2 user has become the owner's group again. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are some of the things, and there are many other commands we come across as we progress through the course. We'll learn them. A few things I'll show you. History. It will give you the complete history of the commands. Suppose from this history, I want to search only certain commands. Pipe is the one which connects multiple commands. So give the output of history to another command called grep. Grep means global regular expression. Suppose I want to search for the commands with sudo. See, it will show me only sudo commands. And then suppose I want to save it into some file called log.txt. It will create a file. See, this is called redirection arrow. So the output, which was this one, will be placed into a file called log.txt. You can check, open that file, right? These are all simple simple and used during troubleshooting and so on. Suppose I want to grep something with password also. There were nothing it shows. Okay. Let's say I want to search something with the sudo I have searched, right? With ls maybe. Why it is not? Oh, sorry, it was placing into log.txt. That's why it's not printing. So see here, only ls commands means only the last output is there. The previous one which I used for password is not there, sudo is not there, means it's overwriting. Right? The last output is only present. But let's say I don't want to overwrite, rather I want to append to it. So double arrows will help you append to the file rather than overwriting. See, now it got appended. Do you see? All the commands with the password. Right? So those are the simple commands. The Linux basics. You don't have to learn the entire Linux basic stuff for the commands. Just go step by step with the what we are doing here. That should be good. So till now we are writing all the Linux commands one by one, right? Let's suppose you want to have a bunch of commands. You want to execute all of them in one go. That's where comes shell scripting into picture. Shell scripting is nothing but a bunch of Linux commands. You will run all of them in one go, right? So let's get started. There were different types of shell executables like G shell, bash shell, normal shell, and so on. So bash shell, which is born again shell, is more widely used. Like it's those are different executables, let's say. So we'll create the file and use some bash scripting. Let me create something like sample.sh. It will be with extension .sh so that you'll understand it's a shell script. So you may use it like exclamatory dollar. That's called shebang line. So you will tell which executable you are using. Are you using G shell or a normal shell or a K shell? Different shells are available. So we are using born again shell bash. So syntactical differences will be there. I'm just writing something called printing, scripting, or let's say set up and configure the server. Echo is like a print command. It will print the whatever you add it in the echo. Saving it. Now you can see this, right? Now it's an executable. The shell script is an executable. You can provide executable permissions for it, which we learned some time back. Sample.sh. Now if you see the permissions and the color of the file would be different. You can call it in two ways. As it's an executable now, directly call like this. See, echo command is executed, or else bash and like this, right? So this is how you can execute. Let me add few more lines here. Let's go to sample.sh. Let's say I want to take a variable. Variable is nothing but a holder to hold some value. You don't need to have some background knowledge or coding or anything. Just understand here. This is a variable where you put or store some value. Like you have in mathematics 6, right? Similarly, file name equal to, let's say demo file. Okay. And okay, you want to put some folder name like I'm taking another variable. Folder is demo folder. I'm just taking two variables. So if you want to print this, just use them in the print command. Echo the configuration file is so on. So I want to tell configuration file is demo file. But if I put just simply this parameter, it will print it. But I want to print the value stored in this parameter. So refer it with a dollar. Dollar means the value stored inside this will be printed. Right? Similarly, the configuration file is in the folder. Again, dollar. That's how you reference the variables. Right? So let's see what happens now. Let's run the script. See, the configuration file is demo file. This configuration file is in the demo folder. Right? So the values stored inside the variables were printed. Are you following along? Let's keep the modifications. What else we can do? Let's say, okay, folder is a demo folder. Um, okay. Suppose if this folder does not exist, I just want to create one. Means if this folder doesn't exist, I want to create one. So how do you know if this folder exists or not? Okay, let's suppose I take a folder name and I'm using make dir, create this folder. Okay, that's all. It will create a folder. Then inside that folder, create some file. So what I would like to do is dollar folder name. Inside this, create this file. Okay, this is what I want. Right. So create the folder by the folder name, create a file into that folder by the folder name. Right. So now if you call the script, so you can see here, it is created. It should be created. Let me show you. See, demo is created, demo folder is created. Within the demo folder, if you go, file should be created by the name as demo file. Perfect, right? So what if you rerun the script? Okay, it's not present here. So go to the location where it is present. Array. Yeah. So now call the script. Array. Sorry. Bash sample.sh. See, second time if you are running, because it already there, folder is there, it's giving you error, right? Cannot create a directory, that file, that folder exists. So it's giving you error. What you should do, to avoid this, I want to create it if it is not present. So I can put that in a if condition, conditional statements. If -d, that's called file parameter, -d. If this is not there, then only create it. If folder name means it will check if it is not there. Then, okay, I'll add a echo command also. The folder. Okay, let's take the variable. The so-and-so folder, the so-and-so directory exists. Okay, it's present. Then if it's not there, else block means always either if block or else block will execute. It will never execute both the blocks. So only one block will execute. So if it is not present means the -d will return the either true or false. Closing for the f is reverse of f, which is fi. So this will return either true or false. If this returns true, it will go into the if block. If it is false, it will come back. Is that clear? Also here I would print another echo creating the directory, right? So now execute this. See, remove folder exists, so it doesn't recreate or throw an error. Any questions? Give me 1 minute, please. Yeah, I'm back. So this is what you can do, and let's see what else we can do here. This is like if you have like conditional statements. Suppose if you have multiple cases, like you can have multiple three cases, right? Let me take some variable as user group. User group equal to, let's say, John. Okay, then let's say if user group, I'm taking this variable. If user group is John, then uh, let's say if it is admin, we'll say you have, or else if it is John, uh, you can configure the server. Can configure the server. Else if some other user like a demo. Yeah. You may just actually write their installation permissions or change the permissions in those. I'm just printing an echo command. You have demo access. Else, if there were if anyone else, then you don't have permissions to the server. Or you have guest access, let's say. And put the chmod commands accordingly and give the permissions maybe. Right? So because it's John, it should print, you can configure the server. Right? So this is how multiple cases can be handled. Let us save this and let's run the script. So you can configure the server because it's not a John or it's not a admin or demo. You can configure the, sorry, why it is printing it, 1 second. I have taken user group as John. You can configure the server. Okay. Because I have given this user group as John, it is printing it. If you change this to demo, it will print you have demo access. Or if it's something else, it will print you have guest access. Right? So here you may just put user group is something else. And if you run this, it will show you have guest access. Any questions in the script? We are going to use this script in our pipeline. Okay, so we'll see it with the real use case. I'm just showing you the syntax and the configurations of it. We'll use it in the pipeline. And it's not mandatory. Like I already mentioned, I'll also show you how you can replace your shell script with advanced tools. But just to give you some idea on how it can be used, I'll also cover that scenario in the pipeline. Okay. And let's say I want to keep changing this file name, folder name will be changing, and I want to pass them during runtime. So I may use positional parameters here, like a $1. What is this $1? I'll tell you, $2. And the third one, 3 variables I have. This is $3. Okay, just save it. Right, now run this. Whenever you are running, you have to pass the values. The value you pass as a first one will be passed to positional parameter $1. Second one is the folder name. Third one is the username. See, the configuration file is creating the directory because test folder is not there. Now it has created it. Do you see? And the configuration file is test file. The configuration folder is test folder. You have guest access. Right? So these are called positional parameters. The one you pass as the first one, second one, and third one. Is that making sense?
Yes.
So these are the simple scripts we can use. And also, let's say you want to provide some input, and your script should pause for your input. You can do that through like echo reading user input or something like this. Read -p. Please enter your name. I want this prompt and it should wait. And then take it into a variable like user password. And if you want to print that again, thanks for your password. Sorry, thanks for your name. Else, let's say user password variable. Okay, let's save this. And let's run the script. See, that's the prompt. It will wait for your input. Please enter your name. And then welcome Preethi. That's a user input which you can provide. So getting comfortable with these concepts is enough to get started. And we can see installing packages on Linux. We have installed on Windows, Mac, or else Linux. In Linux, we'll use something called package managers. Depending on the Linux distribution, you have different packages. Like if it's a CentOS Fedora, you have yum package manager. If it is Ubuntu, it's apt-get. So using that, we'll install the package. Like let's say on the system, I don't have Git. If you want to install install Git, that's all. Okay, you need to be a root user to do this. Sudo install root. Sorry, my bad. Install git we should provide. Okay, so sudo install git. It should install the git package. See, it will ask for confirmation, give yes. So it will download from the Maven, it will download from the yum repositories, and you should have the package installed. Git version. Right? You can see git installed. Right? Now you can use git. See, only installation differs. The way it works, everything is same. You do git init, git status, git commit, add and commit, everything is same. Is that making sense? These are all the simple things which we'll be using from tomorrow on daily basis. So you will learn them throughout the course. Like I told you, you may not be able to master it in one day. Every day we keep installing some packages. We use these Linux commands to navigate through. That's how you become comfortable with it. And if you want to switch to root user, sudo su hyphen. See, you become a root user. Do you see that? So that's how you can switch. And if you exit, you go back to the default user, EC2 user in this case. So without having installing the VM on my machine, without having a overhead on my laptop, we are using some instances from AWS. This is what is cloud. You're also getting exposure to cloud. Today it's a demo server. Tomorrow we'll get started with continuous integration concepts, install Jenkins, and that's how we'll proceed. We'll be installing on the same machine. So get started and just get prepared for it. Do the hands-on for all the commands we are using. Do the complete hands-on and get ready for tomorrow's class. Any more questions you have, anyone? Before going to the hands-on, any queries?
I have a couple of questions.
Go on.
Yeah. As you said, when you execute the script, you mentioned the bash, then the script name. Really, that bash is required because we have mentioned the bin bash inside the shell script. So we can directly execute. In my organization, we execute just dot slash then the script name. Okay.
I think you missed it. I have shown that also. I have
Uh,
shown 2 ways to execute the script.
Sorry.
That's why we have given executable permissions. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Then we are creating users. Okay. And parallelly we have root user. So can we create a users like
One
root
second.
privileges?
1 second. Yeah, see, here is the one. I have shown you doing that also. Just dot slash by providing executable permissions. This is the one.
Okay,
Then
we have
I
to
have
change
shown
the permission. Okay.
it should have executable permissions first of all to run like this. I have shown you that. Later on, I have run like this. Anything you can do.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me now, root the permissions you're saying.
No, we have root user as well as normal user. Okay. So when that root user, we can create a user like other users which have similar like root privileges.
No, only one user will be there with the root user permissions. Root user is called the super user.
Okay.
You may create it by manually adding to different groups, but not then when you just create a user, it will not be created as a root user. It will be a regular user with a
But
minimal
the name can be anything, ma'am. Root user name can be anything, or it will be root.
user only. Root user name will be root only. He is the admin or the super user. If you want to create another user similar to root user, you have to create user like we created John, get all the permissions, add all permissions to like a root user.
Okay, it's all
It's
based
not-
on the permissions. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Sometimes in my organization, when the server is created, it's like they share one user. They mentioned it's like a root equivalent privileges. Whatever you want, you can do it within some particular time limit. That's why I have that query.
That's what you have to create those users, give the permissions to them.
Okay, ma'am. Third one, you said nowadays we are not using shell script as like previous days. We have some other alternatives. So here you are referring Python scripts or?
This is shell script. Even I mentioned the same, like we have limited usage with the shell script. I'll show you using it in the pipeline and also I'll replace it with some other DevOps tools later. I'll show you both just to have you some idea, give you some idea. And nowhere have root user permissions possible. No one will have root user permissions because it's a super user. You will not replicate the same user. You may create some user and give some permissions, whatever needed. That's all. They'll not replicate or provide root user permissions to anyone.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
Any more questions from anyone?
Ma'am, anyone can switch to root user using sudo su hyphen.
No. In reality, you will not have any permissions to switch to root user and do anything. Okay, here for root user on EC2 instances, there is no password set. We are able to switch. In reality, you will not be having root user privileges. No one will have that except admins. That too very restricted because that's a super user, can do anything with the server. Rather, they'll create users, different groups, and give the permissions, whatever needed. That's all. Like I run sudo EC2 user as sudo and run the installation packages, right? Even that will not be allowed. Installations, all of that will be handled by admin teams. They will only have permissions. Means they'll create users in such a way that they'll have only the least required permissions is the best policy, right? That's what will be followed. Means what least required permissions means whatever is needed, only those permissions will be provided to users. All the admin access, admin things will be handled by separate teams, separate user groups.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get the hands-on. Let's get started. Create your free AWS account. Get started creating an account, creating EC2 instance, connect to it. First, these are the basics and mandatory steps. Then do to whatever extent you can do Linux and keep continuing doing that every day 10 minutes, spend 10 minutes. But AWS account creation and instance creation, connect to it are mandatory before you join next class. And see, it is running state, right? Once you are done, just stop it so that you can reuse it tomorrow. Don't keep it, leave it running. Just stop it. If you don't want it anymore, terminate it. It will be deleted. But if you want to reuse it, stop it. This is what you should. You should not leave it running. You will be given like $100 for the free account, right? So running instances, like they'll consume those credits. So just make sure you're stopping it once you are done. Any more questions from anyone? All right, then let's get started with the hands-on. Okay, let me know if you need any help. You have the documentation in the lab notes. You can go to lab notes from here also. Get started creating a free account. Any questions, let me know. Thank you all. That is all for today. But yeah, let's get started with the hands-on.
Ma'am, can we create one new folder for the lab notes for the specific batch?
We have created, right? This is common for any batch. This is the lab notes.
Okay, okay,
These are there, right? For each topic wise. These are not any batch specific.
okay.